Hey, welcome back. Let's be real for a second. How much of your life are you spending in the waiting room? You know what I mean. Waiting for that promotion, waiting to meet the perfect person, waiting for your bank account to look decent, or just waiting for the weekend. We tell ourselves, once I get that thing, then I'll finally be chill. Then I'll be happy. But here is the harsh truth nobody wants to hear. Happiness doesn't work like a vending machine. You don't put a coin in like a new job or a relationship and get happiness out. If you think happiness is a destination you arrive at, you're going to be waiting forever. But what if I told you happiness is actually a skill? Like learning to code or playing a video game. It's something you can train. Stick with me, because we are going to completely flip the script on how you see your life. Part 1. The glitch in our thinking. So, here is the biggest misconception we have. We treat happiness like it's a reward. We think, I'll be happy when people respect me, or I'll be happy when I'm rich. But those are just events. They are temporary dopamine hits. Have you ever noticed that you get the thing you wanted, you feel great for like 2 days, and then you go right back to feeling normal? That's because those external things were never the source of your joy. Real talk, you can have a millionaire in a mansion who is absolutely miserable, crying themselves to sleep. And you can have a guy working a minimum wage job in the hot sun who is genuinely vibing and enjoying his day. The difference isn't the bank account. It's the mindset. This brings us to a concept called neuroplasticity. I know, sounds scientific, but it's actually super simple. It just means your brain is like software that can be updated. It's not fixed. If you spend every day complaining, scrolling through bad news, and stressing out, you are literally training your brain to be an expert at sadness. You are programming yourself to see the negative. But, if you start training your brain to spot the wins, to see the good stuff, you can actually rewire your mind to be happy by default. It's not magic, it's just practice. Part 2. Stop the comparison game. Let's get into the habits that actually change things. The first one is a big one for our generation. You have to stop comparing. Comparison is literally the thief of joy. It kills your vibe instantly. Think about how you open social media, and what do you see? You see someone's highlight reel. You see their vacation, their new car, their perfect relationship. And then you look at your own life. Yeah, you're in sweatpants, you're tired, maybe you're stressed about rent and you feel like you're losing. But here is the reality check. You are comparing your messy behind-the-scenes footage to their edited, filtered movie trailer. It's not real. You don't see the fights they had before taking that cute selfie. You don't see their anxiety. Everyone is fighting battles you know nothing about. There's this saying that I love: don't compare your planting season to someone else's harvest. You are on your own timeline. You aren't behind because there is no schedule. So next time you see someone winning online, don't let it make you feel small. Just say, good for them, and get back to focusing on your own path. That is where the peace is. Part 3. Romanticize the little things. The second habit is something you see a lot in those aesthetic day in my life videos, but it's deeper than that. You need to learn to appreciate the small, quiet moments. Most of us are addicted to the big moments: a graduation, weddings, promotions. But life is mostly made up of Tuesdays. It's made up of morning coffee, warm blankets, a text from a friend, or just a good song playing in the car. Happy people are the ones who notice this stuff. There's a story about a guy who ended up in a wheelchair after an accident. People asked him how he stayed so positive. He said, "I started noticing things I used to ignore. I feel the wind on my face. I watch the sunset. I appreciate that I can still think and talk." He stopped focusing on what he lost and fell in love with what he still had. That is the cheat code. If you can find joy in a cup of tea or a quiet walk, you become invincible. You don't need $1 million to be happy if you can be happy just sitting in the sun. Stop waiting for the big happiness and start grabbing the small happiness that is sitting right in front of you. Part 4. Fix Your Inner Podcast. Okay, habit number 3. We need to talk about that voice in your head. You know the one. It runs 24/7 like a podcast you can't turn off. For a lot of us, that inner voice is a bully. It says things like, "You're awkward, you're not good enough, you always mess up." If a friend talked to you the way you talk to yourself, you would block them immediately. You'd call it toxic. So why do you let that voice live in your head rent-free? You have to start catching those thoughts. When your brain says, "I'm a failure," you have to interrupt it and say, "No, I'm learning. I'm trying." It sounds weird at first, like fake confidence, but it works. Imagine talking to yourself like you're talking to your best friend or a little kid. You wouldn't scream at a kid for making a mistake, right? You'd be encouraging. Be that kind to yourself. Your relationship with yourself is the longest relationship you will ever have, so make it a healthy one. Part 5, Forgiveness and Staying Present. This next one is tough, but it's necessary. Forgiveness. And I don't mean doing it for the other person. We hold on to grudges because we think being angry punishes the person who hurt us. But it doesn't. They are probably out there living their life, eating a sandwich, not thinking about you. Meanwhile, you are drinking poison and hoping they die. Holding on to anger just burns you out. Happy people forgive not because the other person deserves it, but because they deserve peace. It's about cutting the anchor so you can sail the boat. Let it go. And while you're letting go of the past, try to stop living in the future, too. If you are depressed, you're usually living in the past. If you are anxious, you're usually living in the future. Peace is found right now, in the present. This is what people mean when they say mindfulness. It's just noticing where your feet are right now. Not worrying about next week's emails. Just being here, in this moment. It's the only moment you actually have control over. Part 6, Your Mental Diet. Now, let's talk about the practical stuff. How do we actually build this happiness skill? First, you have to watch what you consume. And I don't mean food. I mean content. Your brain is a stomach. If you feed it trash, angry comments, scary news, toxic drama, your mental health is going to feel sick. If you've watched videos like The Psychology of Happiness or anything similar, you know that our environment shapes us. If you follow accounts that make you feel ugly or poor, unfollow them. Protect your energy. You don't need to know every bad thing happening in the world every single second. It's okay to disconnect. Second, move your body. I'm not saying you need to become a gym rat. But go for a hot girl walk, or a guy walk, whatever. Just get outside. Your emotions are physical. When you are sad, your body slumps. When you move, you release endorphins and serotonin. It's biology. Sometimes you aren't stuck in life, you just need to sweat a little bit to clear the fog. Part 7, Meaning over Pleasure. Finally, and this is the deep part, stop chasing pleasure and start building meaning. There is a huge difference. Pleasure is scrolling TikTok, eating junk food, or buying stuff. It feels good for 5 minutes. Meaning is deeper. Meaning is doing something that matters, even if it's hard. Think about two people with the same difficult job. Let's say they are construction workers carrying bricks. One guy hates it. He thinks, "I'm just moving rocks, this sucks, my life is hard." He is miserable. The second guy is doing the exact same work, but he thinks, "I am building a home where a family is going to live. I'm providing for my kids." Same job. Same pain. Different mindset. The second guy has a why. You don't need a perfect job to have meaning. You just need to know who you are doing it for. Maybe you work hard to support your cat, or your passion project, or just to prove to yourself that you can. When you have a purpose, the hard days are easier to handle. Stop asking, "When will life get easier?" and start asking, "How can I make this meaningful?" Listen, I know life is heavy sometimes. I know you're tired of trying, tired of pretending everything is okay. But you don't need to be perfect. You are not a robot meant for productivity. You are a human being meant to experience things. So, give yourself permission to rest. Give yourself permission to fail and try again. You are already worthy just because you exist. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Start practicing these small habits today. Just one small thing. Be grateful for your coffee. Be kind to yourself in the mirror. Move your body for 10 minutes. Slowly, day by day, you will build that skill. You will realize that happiness wasn't waiting for you at the finish line. It was right here, waiting for you to notice it. If this video helped you feel a little less alone, or gave you a new perspective, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, it really helps the channel grow, and subscribe to Learn English with Jennifer for more content that helps you level up your life and your mindset. You're doing better than you think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.